Good morning, good morning. We are, we've gapped down. We are now holding our 30-second opening range as resistance, as well as our ETH low on ES. And on NQ. So basically it is a consolidation after a gap down, with us looking below and holding below our Globex and 30-second opening range. So until proven otherwise, we have to have a pretty bearish mindset, because everything is pointing that we want to continue downwards as of right now from how price is building. That being said, we are trading in a box, right? And we should respect that it is a box until proven otherwise. I would like to see, before we go down, it doesn't have to happen, but before we go down further, someone trapped above, and then we can play off of that person who's trapped above, right, as a catalyst of someone who's offsides, and then we continue downward, right? It doesn't have to happen, but it would be nice to see, to give us a little bit more confidence that we're going to continue down. That being said, again, like, everything points to a continuation down as right now. We're holding VWAP up as resistance on the 15. We're below our 30-second range, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're below our POC. So we're going to keep that in mind. But again, I'm just expecting balance until we see someone very clearly trapped offsides. Right now, we have the only catalyst is this guy down here, right? So the opposite could easily occur if this guy remains as the low, and then we pop and push, and then instead of failing to hold our highs, we rotate up, and then we look for a strong secondary over our 30-second opening range, right? That looks something like this. So if this guy remains our low, and we put it in higher lows, and then can hold and build above our 30-second opening range, it could be the opposite, right? Like, we could go up instead of down. So just keep that in mind. We want to be playing around who's outside of our range, and then playing with that direction. So I just want to point that out, that on the higher time frame, everything suggests that we continue to go down. On the smaller time frame, no decision has been made. It is very choppy, very boxy, and we'll have to wait to see which way we're going to break overall. But I'm not bullish in the slightest until we can get over our 30-second opening ranges on ES and NQ, and then we can rotate back in. Our targets above, if we could flip these, would be just previous day value, right? If we can get back inside the previous day value, then we can trade through it, and then that would look something like, oh, our 30-second opening range held. So now we can look up, trade into previous day value low, probably come back down, rotate into this, and then trade into previous day
Commentary
POC.
from EOG, who see the oil market as being oversupplied for the next couple of quarters.
Something like that, right? If this continues to hold its resistance, then probably look down, lower high, take out lows, retest, flip ADR like we did yesterday. That leads to much more downside, and then we can continue our rotation down, right? So it's either fill gap and then figure out what the hell we do after that, or hold 30-second opening range, seller in control, take out lows, get a continuation under ADR. That's kind of like the overall idea. What's up, Cass? All right. Good morning, OS. Oh God, my head. What's up, club? All right, testing our lows now into our reversion areas. Let's see what we do here, boys. I'm not expecting a break of lows yet. I mean, we'll see, but I think we need a bit of an offer higher first. I honestly really would like to see us have someone a bit more offsides above, and then we look back through. It can happen here, but I'm not playing it if it does. I mean, we're just way too slow for me to want to reliably short at these lows. I mean, there's just not enough interest yet. Um, yeah, I don't know. Slow grind down into our low with no like clear participant that I want to be playing off of is just not the move. Any sort of like news comes in and we immediately spike through and just like trap everyone. It's not for me. If we can like see someone who's very clearly offsides or a very clear reoffer at a lower high that we can play around that then has speed attached to it, I'm all for it. But like this slow grind down is just not it. We have 30 seconds until 15, so hopefully something shows so that I don't miss, the entirety of this area. But if it doesn't, that's okay. I just won't be a participant, like we'll wait for the next leg. But I'm also not shorting ES ADR until that flips. I'm not. It's a rule. It is a rule of mine. New 15s. What's up? Just watching our reaction here, surf into our reversion zone, seeing if we can hold it as our resistance or if we'll flip back over. Very slow into the low right now. I don't have a ton of faith yet, but we are holding where we need to as of right now. They're like trying to bait me into taking a short down here.
At 11 a.m. Eastern Time, we have the New York Fed inflation expectations.
Holding our ADR low and our reversion area so far. Reversion signals are playing. Again, I'm not willing to take this short. I think it's a bait. Until we see further evidence, I will not be taking it. Yeah, I mean, if we do that, I probably won't take a trade, or I'm not gonna lie.
In 5 minutes' time, we expect the New York Fed inflation expectations. Bank of England's MPC pill asked about removal of careful from BOV's gradual and careful language, says it should not be over-interpreted.
I hear it. I don't know what's going on.
Bank of England's pill says I would emphasise continuity of Bank of England's policy, not relatively modest changes in language. 1 minute remaining.
$50 till May 15s. Buyer is sitting at 820 on NQ.
Ten seconds.
Watching our reaction into 20
New
here
York Fed
on
says
NQ.
October 1 year ahead expected inflation 3.2% versus September's 3.4%. October 3 year ahead expected inflation unchanged at 3%. October expected house price rise unchanged at 3%. October's expected commodity price outlook was mixed. In October, household labor market
What is
outlook
going
is
on with the
mostly
spot?
negative. The New York Fed says October perception of current financial situation has worsened, and October expectation of future financial situation has declined.
30 points so far off of 820. See if we can get over POC and flip it, or if this holds offer for continuation down. Again, buyer is very clearly sitting at 820. Need to flip over 80s for me to care about this move for continuation, or this will just be our offer, and then we look for them to flip 820 for continuation down.
We have posted the link to the New York Fed survey of consumer expectations on the feed for those interested.
See if Russell can break lows and start leading down. Held our pivots on ES and NQ so far. Retesting our buyer here at 20. Let's see if we can flip it with Russell leading down. Or if they continue to absorb here.
The Russell 2000 index hits over 7-week low, last down 1.2%.
Yes, holding ADR's offer so far off of our lower high. NQ bid flipping 820. They're trying. See if Russell can continue to lead down. It's very slow. Pivot held though. POC to value high of previous candle on both NQ and ES. Russell now holding value as offer. watch our push from here into our retest of our value load at POC, our 820 level. I want to see our 800, 820 hold offer if we're going to continue downwards, or not incredibly convinced yet. Still, I still think that we need to see a bit of a push higher first, and then we can go down. But if we hold our flip, then that's fine. Just watch your 800, 820 here, see if offer can stick. If we can stick, we continue down just like we did last time. If this flips, I expect then a pretty strong bid here. And then we look for the rotation up above these highs. If we can recover 20s, trapping these guys below.
In 10 minutes' time at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we're expecting Trump to greet the Hungarian Prime Minister.
This is such an important area for us to be able to recover if we're going to flip. What we're attempting to do right now is build above where this buyer was, show that we're interested in reclaiming and continuing upward. It's the same thing on ES where we need to get back above our ADR, which is here. We need to flip this and get back up over trapping these guys below, or we'll follow our bearish pathing, which is to retest of this area and then a rotation down, which is what we thought would happen once we got here. 20's holding so far, giving a really nice opportunity. We need to hold here, right? If this flips above after trapping these guys here, after a failed attempt, and then we look back below this, we take out lows, right? Like it's that simple. Right now we are trying to recover and flip. That's good. But if this fails, right, if Russell can't continue upwards
US Treasury Secretary
from a reversion
Bessent says
signal,
everyone
we can't
must
get
work
back
to
over,
stop China's control over rare earths.
then we start to head down again.
Further
right?
saying all hands on deck to end China's grip on rare earths.
I think if we can hold this 800, 820 area, we'll probably do a reversion trade back up to 910. That's my guess. If this fails, then we just continue downwards and it's just a failure from the bid to sustain, and then we just keep going down, trending on the day. We're watching for a higher low on Russell. We rejected where we need to, but if they can't put in a higher low, then we shouldn't expect that this 800, 820 holds, and then we'll continue down towards trapping with Russell then pushing down as well. Same thing on ES. This has already been pathed. It's what we expected. It's just a retest of this offer. We need to see if this will hold or if this flips. Again, you're watching to see if these sellers are now our buyers, and then if we can push above and then rotate up, or if this is going to hold and then continue downward.
so around 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Trump is to meet with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. The video is on the feed for those interested.
So slow, man. U15's opening now. Let's see if this offer holds below, or if we look back up. Russell's still holding where it needs to. I would need to see a very strong rejection here at 96.6, and then continuation down to retest lows if we're going to fail here. Again, this is opening at our value low of our previous candle here on NQ at our 800. To me, I still think this looks like a bid unless we see a sweeper step in. I want to see us back over 820 after a failure here to shift value from the look below. We need to see Russell continue downwards here. If it does, then this will be a nice short. If it doesn't, then it still feels like someone's just taking in size here, and I am not interested until we flip. We need speed, and we can play a really nice secondary move. Without the speed, it's just going to be miserable. This is like our catalyst here. Which way this can break. Can we take out highs and flip with this higher low, or does this offer hold here and then do we sweep through? Again, like NQ is at our pivot. ES held our pivot, no interest above as of yet. We need to see this flip. But if Russell starts to lead up, then that'll be our first signal that our low potentially might be in. Is there a right side of V to play off of yet? No, right? There's nothing. But we do know that there is someone here very clearly at 800, 820 who is attempting. We need to see them flip. If we can flip it with Russell also leading up, then again, I think we get the reversion trade up. If not, then this is just another consolidation, and then we get a continuation down off of another failure from a bid at the lows.
Spot gold rises nearly 1%.
As we retest lows across the board, should be your first risk off. You are playing off of the failure to hold above 20s and the rotation down. We expect a pretty aggressive sweep down here if we were going to continue lower on NQ into our next target. Understand that all we've done is trap these guys above and then reoffer with Russell holding pivot and then continuing down. As ES comes down into our low again, we have no real clarity down here yet that we want to continue lower on ES RTY. NQ looks a little bit better with the sweeper attempting, but we need a bit more size. I'd love to see 80 to 90 hold and then really see them slap the offer for continuation if we're going to continue down. I need speed. Like, this move is great structurally. What we just held is great, but without speed at our lows, like I don't really want to be holding too much, you know? Like, it's just not convincing. If we don't get speed on these moves, like it's not a great day. Russell retesting lows, ES retesting lows. NQ sweeper attempting to push down. RTY holds low. That's all we get for right now. Same thing with ES. We have a minute until new 15s. Hopefully get another move here. NQ getting a bit more volatile with Russell and ES holding lows. But nothing has changed structurally on NQ. Just rotating back into our 800, 820. See if offer sticks there or if we flip. Russell's leading, right? So we just watch for Russell momentum loss or GAN, and then you can play NQ around that. It is one of those days. You guys see what I'm talking about, right? Or no? This look above, rejection into it, rotation down, reoffer, push down. Same thing here. Like we need to flip and make this supportive, or we trap here and then we rotate and reoffer. It's the same thing on Russell. Like if we hold lows, we should expect a bid to be here. This is why we risk off someone on NQ. It's the same thing on ES, where if lows hold with Russell lows hold, like we know that this is what's controlling our move right now. We want to see if we can hold this node and continue downward and then make a new low. That leads to more downside and a much more confident continuation rather than NQ just making doji after doji while we wait. And see our rejection at our highs here at our 96.6 on Russell, leading to our offer at our 800, 820 again. Same thing with ES here at our ADR holding as resistance. There's no change. It's just a rotation. We're in a balance right now, but with our offer lowering. As soon as Russell has no momentum, the market dips. It should be a good risk off if you are playing off of that. Let's just leave runner for a break of lows if it's going to happen, but don't not take profit, right? Like we have, with no speed, you have to respect ranges until we see speed, and then we can look for secondary moves. Until then, you just play your edges because it's choppy, slow, balanced, but trend down on the higher time frame. So you can hold for the higher time frame continuation down, but you have to understand that with how choppy we are with volatility, right? Like this range is good. Like this is good points, but we are choppy and on the smaller time frame. So like take profits where you can, leave runners, understand that like your runners basically have to be break even or even at highs, and then you're going to potentially bounce all the way back. But the overall trend is still downwards, right? Like it's just very choppy in structure. So you want to secure some gains so that you can have that runner for free if we do get that continuation. And again, like Russell should lead. If we can start to hold these lows and if we can start to make new lows on RTY, we should be able to get some continuation down, and then NQ should free up a bit and get some speed. Yeah, great job, Surf. Russell, full rotation of our range. ES held lows, NQ into our pivot. If you're playing off of 800, 820, this is your first risk off. We need to flip this. If we can flip our POC from previous candle, then we get continuation. RTY losing momentum into our highs again. It is a range trade into our edges as of right now. There is nothing else until we see more. Russell, momentum loss, rotation down. Your first risk off will always be into the low of our Russell range. NQ is doing the same thing. This is POC of previous candle. We are holding our pivot. The rotation is to the downside. If we can get continuation here and Russell can make a new low, we get continuation down. If we don't expect it. This isn't magic. It is a range. Are people making money? I don't know what else to say. Russell leading down, pivots holding, 800, 820, holding offer, rotation through. Got our continuation as soon as Russell failed again, and then actually was able to take out lows. ES holding structurally, pushing down, next target into 50. Just took off another 5. Just play your edges, it's balance. Once we get such a significant clue, like the Russell moves, you just play the Russell moves. Like, I can't reiterate that enough. We find our pivot on NQ. We then look to see where our Russell pivots are. We look for the loss of momentum. We play the loss of momentum into our NQ and Russell pivot. We make money. We don't try to predict. We don't try to do anything else. We know we're in a higher time frame downtrend. We play that with the understanding that we have not seen a shift of value. We have not seen a right side of V. All we know is that we're in a higher time frame trend down and that we do not have the momentum or the buyers yet at the lows. We have buyers who are attempting, but they're failing, right? We need to show that interest over that 800, 820, and we need to see a sustained bid for the start of a right side of V. If not, we have trapped buyers who are now our pivot for resistance.
Tesla shares extend losses, last down 5.4%.
These guys are
The
offsides.
S&P 500 quickly fades further.
Down 1.3% to a session low.
Watch our Russell retest at the bottom of our balance. If it holds, we should get continuation down. If it gets back into balance, then we'll look for these guys to be trapped down here, and then we can play for the rotation back through. Scalping smaller moves is fine when we have speed, but when we're slow but also volatile, right, and in our size, right, and sorry, when we're volatile in price but slow in speed, we need to just think of the higher time frame and think of where we're going to go in the overall trend. It's not very easy to scalp smaller moves and look for very tight stops when volatility is large and price, like the spread, I guess is the best way to put it, but speed is slow because the potential to get stopped out while we're waiting for a larger move to play is just so damn high. So you have to be trading less leverage with a larger stop because nothing has changed in our overall structure for the idea that we're looking for. And you don't want to be impatient. Things are taking longer than we want, and you don't want to be missing moves because you stopped out with nothing actually changing on a higher time frame. Okay, I want to just like go over this for those that are struggling. What do we see on our indicators? I'm going to turn off VWAP. What do we see for structure on the day so far? What happened at open? What's happened today? Sure, gap down. I mean, like, yeah, there's no wrong answers here. Like, I just want you to, I want to know what you see. Like, when you open your charts in the morning, what do you see? What are you looking for? What are your variables? What did I say when I got on this morning? I said, we gap down. We're holding our ETH low. We're below our 30-second opening range, right? We have so many things that we can talk about, right? So we have like 2 easy ideas just from the start of the day, from when we log in. We're not looking for a bullish move unless it's just a reversion back to our day open, right? And we're not looking for, and that's just a mean reversion. We're not looking for any bullish move until we can flip our 30-second opening range and our ETH low. That's just the first of all. And then what are we looking for if that does flip?
So they're
a gap fill, right?
$600 billion in American infrastructure and jobs, including industry-leading AI data centers.
So we know what the upside move looks like. We're looking for price to be in a bearish trend with the gap down and our offer holding below our Globex low, as well as our 30-second opening range. We're looking for a continuation down. If we can flip it, we'd be looking for a rotation back up for a structural fill into this gap, into the bottom of this range, right? Yesterday's value low. That's all we'd be looking for. So that's the upside move, right? Until then, we're in a downtrend. What are we seeing in our action after the gap down? Well, price is pretty sideways, right? So we have some tools that are you guys pay for, right? We have our PVZ, which is showing you our reversion levels if we're in balance. So we're in a very tight balance. We get our reversion signal into our low. We get our rotation back up to our value high into PVZ. We see no interest above, 0 interest above this. This is where our POC shift is. It is the same as before. Our seller here is still holding us. All we're doing is coming back up, giving them another opportunity to short for a continuation down, right? There's no interest above yet. So all we've done is our reversion trade from our low back into our highs where the seller sits. Until we can flip above, like we discussed, there's nothing here. We have traded into target from our reversion. What happens into these highs? What do we show? Well, we look above, fail, just like we looked here, and then failed. We make a lower high, right? We fail to take out highs and sustain, right? So we reoffer into POC, yes, and then reject and then continue down. At what point are we not just doing regular value rotations here in this range? Do you guys see what I'm talking about or no? We see that this is value high, this is POC. So what happens into our highs after looking below into a reversion, getting our reversion trade in? We make a lower high, we reject, we then push down to POC after failing to get back above value. We rotate into it, reoffer our value edge, and then continue downward. What happens here into our value low of PVZ, POC, and value low, right? Into this edge that we have labeled off our indicators from our failure at our highs. What happens? What happens here? Value holds as resistance. We rotate into POC, into value low. We then flip it, hold it as resistance, and now we're showing that there's no interest at the bottom of our balance. This is the bottom of our balance. This is a continuation down. Right? What does it mean if we're holding our reversion zone as resistance? Well, that's a very good sign of trend. I don't look for trades back up until I see us holding our reversion zone edge as supportive, and then we can look for rotations back to our value edges. These would be our targets. If this is continuing to hold as resistance and we're continuing to just build lower, we're just trending down. Do you see that? PVZ is giving you all of the information you need on the day. It's giving you where current value is. It's giving you where we expected rotations for reversion are going to occur. We see failures at that. We see a continuation down. We see our open fails again and continuation down. We're just trending down. Now we're into our lows and we have no structural levels to really play off of here because we're just in trend. So all we have to do now is just stay in a runner and then play off of where our previous balance was and then see if we can hold that as our offer for continuation. If sellers continue to hold, then we just keep going down, right? Until we can see a right side of V where we have some sort of seller offsides into our low that we can then play off of for a higher low, we have to play the overall trend down because structurally we're so far away from anything that actually matters. So until we can break this downtrend and see that right side of V where we have someone caught into our lows, there's nothing for us to do here other than just play the reoffer and then play the continuation down once we see someone trapped. That's all we can do because we're in trend. Yeah? So when we see someone, why was I so interested at this 820? What tried to happen here? Well, we saw this really aggressive push into this liquidity from the previous session. We can see it here. We tried to push into here, and then we tried to rebid and push up. We failed at our value, but it showed that there was an interested party here. We saw them try to chop and push up multiple times. So we know that there's someone here that is attempting, but we know that if they can't hold this and start to push us up, there's no right side of V, but we can use this guy who was trying to absorb here as our pivot. And then we can look to see if they can then hold this pivot as our resistance for a continuation down. Because we know that if this guy is off sides, then the only buyer that we've seen so far that with any significant size that's tried to absorb is now our pivot for resistance for a continuation down, right? And then we just play this as normal trend again once this fails. And we know that our catalyst is just our Russell structure. We can see that I'm gonna do what did we just talk about with PVZ in our reversion? That we expect that if sell side's in control, we continue to fail at our reversion edge, right? Our reversion box edge on PVZ. So that's where I come up with that level, right? And our value is even moved there. But until I can see us start to hold this from the look below and then a hold above, I'm just going to be using this as where we expect sell side to be sitting over and over again for a continuation down. Right? We know where we're headed if we can flip this. We'll head to our value edge here at 402. But if this continues to hold as resistance, I have to play and respect that is that we want to head down. So when I see our interactions here, let me switch back. Our interactions here where every test into these results in a sharp move on NQ. Every test on this Russell, look at the area over here, results in a sharp move on NQ to the downside, and same thing on ES, right? Our value edge is holding. Then we should just respect that if RTY can't sustain above, that we're not going to get a sustained move on NQ, and then we'll just get these movements down, right? If RTY wants to lead down and break lows, then that's when we get our next leg down. We're just playing trend, and we're using Russell as our oscillator for said trend. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. Really, TradingView? You want me to verify my personal information right now? What are we seeing on Russell? Well, we just failed to sustain this look below, right? And we just saw a very clear bid. Now we have to wait for a look back up into these highs, or a rotation back below, trapping these participants, right? And then reoffering. So I have to be very patient here because Russell has momentum. So should I be expecting a continuation on shorts if Russell has momentum? No, we have to wait for it to come into our pivot. Or we have to see the shift back below, trapping these guys here. So my options are wait to see what we do into this 96, right? Or look for this guy to push up, fail, and then look back below, and then see a very clear reoffer back below this. I have to respect that Russell has momentum. With that, it's the same thing on Russell, on ES and on NQ, right? If RTY has momentum and we failed to hold our low, well, we'll rotate back through and then we'll come back up into our pivot, right? Same thing on ES. If we can't hold below our previous bid and our offer failed to sustain on this edge test below, and RTY is leading, then this is an easy ass long for a rotation back into this. And if this fails, we'll just look for this to offer again, and now it's the same thing. I have to wait for either interest, see what we do here into this low, watch to see our reaction, play as this is our risk, and then play this rotation down. This is first PT, this is second PT, into this now new balance into our bottom. And we play it like this. It's the same thing, right? We wait for a loss of momentum. We watch to see what our reactions are into our edge. We know where our edges are. We know where we want to go. You drew the RTY pivot on just, it's literally just based off of PVC. It's our balance edge there. And then the low was just our low on Russell where we found that bid. Just marking the low. Nothing crazy. What did we just do? What's Russell still doing? Yeah, we've got Momo, right? And what did we just hold on retest? What happens if we can flip this? Looks good, yeah? Into our pivot here on ES. See if we can flip it, or if this holds offer and we rotate back down. Same thing on NQ, same as before. Can we show interest here, hold, and look up for continuation with Russell momentum, or do we trap and then look back through? RTY continues to lead, and we continue to go up. Russell into VWAP. Potential loss of momentum as we push into our PVZ here at 402. It's a great first risk off if you are playing the flip of 800, 820 as we push into 50s on NQ. Next target would be 880 and then 910 on NQ. Yeah, just watch for 402. That is where PVZ value is well, right? That is our pivot. That is VWAP, as you know. So if sell side is serious, they will hold VWAP, and that will be an area where they reload. Here, and this is with just limits on our 800 to 820 pivot. Yeah, just wait for your retest of your pivot. Oh, watch for Russell. If it doesn't have momentum after the VWAP, right? It is what it is. Later, Kevin. Yes, held our pivot, by the way. No change. ADR still holding his resistance. Need to see very clear higher lows here. See if we can like flip like this. Russell coming back down. See if we can get over VWAP and go supportive. Or if this fails and we rotate back through our balance. If we don't have Russell momentum, don't even try it. You need this RTY to flip VWAP. Holding pivot so far in NQ and ES, but you need more.
US Senate Majority Leader Thune says there's a possible vote on a bill to pay some federal workers today. And Dutch PM Schoof says China are to resume Nexperia chip exports.
Yo, Bank of America has recovered just in time for the next one. The hell is funded next, Kevin? Why are you using them? You prop firm guys that use like 20 different prop firms, I'll never understand. Is it because you're maxed out on accounts on each platform? Is that what it is? Got it. The prop meta is crazy, man. Also, like, why do you need to get paid out every week? You guys are spending that much money in a week? Yeah. I guess so. Jesus. Russell can't get over VWAP. We don't go anywhere here. We're just going to chop and then look back below and then rotate down. Same thing on ES and NQ, right? If we can't take out our highs and bid, then we'll rotate back through and offer. Are the payout rules bad still if you're on a live account? Shouldn't your goal just be switching to live? Because then it's house money. They're making just as much money with you. That's how like all of like the big prop firm guys do it, is that they've all switched to like live funded. So that's why they can take out like huge huge payouts. It's because like they're not reliant on the prop firm to sim fund it.
The Trump's meeting with Hungary's PM Orban is about to start. The live feed is available on our website for those interested.
Again, if we continue to fail, we just rotate back through. We know where our offer sits. It's literally our only red zone on our chart. Guess what it is? It's our edge of our reversion signal. Right? This is exactly what we were just talking about. Okay, let's see what happens here. If Russell continues to reject and we now fail to push above 20 to 30 and we push below 800, we'll start to do this trade again. It's the same as before. Literally the same. Same thing on ES. Need to get back above this ADR or it'll be our resistance. Very clear lower highs is right now. Offering again, same areas. We're waiting on RTY to make a decision. And until RTY makes a decision, NQ and ES will be just rotating in our already established structure. I don't expect crazy NQ or ES moves until Russell makes a decision. I just expect choppy, crappy action at our pivot. 20 seconds and 2015s. Just risked off my first contracts here off of our 20 to 30 offer. ES as well at 78s as we push down at our value edge. Russell still flat. No change. Again, take off your first risk. Says secondary target here. Should look for a bit of a bid here at Russell into our pivot, as well as NQ into our pivot and ES into our pivot. This is a great first target. Held our highs, rotated down, offered, pushed into edge. Now we'll see if this can hold below and continue downward, or if we're going to need to reoffer, come in, and then continue downward. That'd be my guess, with Russell also being at our edge.
Trump says we are talking about meetings with Putin. In 10 minutes time now, at the top of the hour, we get the Baker Hughes rig count numbers. Oil rigs forecast 414. Excuse me, the prior read was 414. No expectations for these releases. So again, oil rigs prior 414, total rigs prior 546.
Just watch your Russell momentum. If it starts to lead down again, then we get another leg. If it holds our edge, then there's no change. Again, this is first, sorry, big first target. Secondary will be our push back into our lows. This is ES value low. This is RTY value low. So our pivot here on NQ. I'm just in runners from our 20 to 30. Our POC to value low previous candle is our pivot on an NQ. We watch our reoffer here, see if we can push down further or if that's all we get. We are looking to see if we can maintain this seller for a lower high after pushing in. We're now reoffering, following my pathing that I just drew out for you. We expected this bounce at our edge. This is why we took profit. We based that off of our Russell pivot. We are looking at our reoffer. We're watching to see if we can now get below for continuation, or if this is going to fail to push lower and then flip back above for a continuation higher. Regardless, edge is a holding. Great for scalps. If RTY can't break lows and we maintain a higher low here, we can look back up for a bid off of a failure, right? With this POC to value low being in this area, any pop over this has potential for continuation, break of downtrend. Just need to watch. So far offer is maintaining, and that's fine, but I just want you to be aware with POCs that are lows on our footprint candles, retesting our pivot edge, right? Across the board, without that look below an offer, you don't need to expect more. So we really need to see this sweep step through, hold these pivot edges, and then get below for continuation, or we'll chop here until a decision is made. And it can go either way, honestly. Watch Russell into VWAP, see if we flip, or if it holds. You need to take out highs on Russell for confirmation. Watch your 20 to 30 here, see if offer still sits, or if we can flip it and hold it as supportive with
The
Russell
US
also holding
supports
VWAP.
European Union by using frozen Russian assets to help Ukraine and try to stop the war.
Russell flipping VWAP, see if it can hold. NQ flipping our 20 to 30, seeing if that can hold as well with Russell momentum. ES, no shift yet, sadly for all my ES enjoyers. Just pushing into POC of previous candle now. Needs to flip this pivot for you to feel comfortable, unless you're in from the lows. Then this is your first risk off. If we can flip over this after pushing into 92 and then holding as supportive, that'll be a really good sign for continuation up. Until then, though, you're at your pivot.
So shortly expecting the Baker Hughes rig count numbers for the week. Trump says the basic dispute with Russia is that they don't want to stop the war with Ukraine.
Yeah, no shit. Risking off into this 50 off of our flip of our 20 with Russell holding VWAP. Should see a little bit more momentum into 408.6 would be my guess. Just watch as we push into POC here and our day open. This is a great area to take off a little of your first risk. See if NQ can take out our highs. See if ES can flip this. If we can, we keep going up. If we lose momentum on Russell, then that's all we get. This is a great first target into 50 to 60, secondary target into 80s, third target into 910.
US total rig count 548, 548. That's 2 more rigs added.
You guys good? Like,
Baker Hughes
I don't
oil
know.
rig count unchanged at 414, 414. Commentary from Fitch Ratings. They say US's fiscal challenge may limit its capacity to provide meaningful counter-cyclical support to states and municipalities during a downturn. Trump says, I would like to keep meeting with Russia's Putin in Budapest.
We're just waiting on RTY to figure out what it wants to do here at our pivot. We expected the loss of momentum here. Now it's just a matter of, can we build higher lows and then rotate over, or does this hold as resistance and then continue downward? So far it looks good, but need to see that look above our POC here at our 408.6. We're holding ETH low to POC right now as resistance at our yellow zone. If it can't show interest over day open, that's all she wrote. We rotate back down to VWAP.
Trump says that we agree that the war in Ukraine will end in the not too distant future.
No ability to take out highs. Pivot still holding across the board, retesting our 800, 820. Russell failing at our pivot as well. Lost momentum, waiting for the momentum to step back in for a secondary leg and then a directional decision. There is still no interest over our red zones. Need to see that flip. So far, just looking at this area as a flag until proven otherwise. But if RTY starts to lead down and then we see that flip back below VWAP, it is what it is. We go back down. Another failure. RTY retesting POC, breaking our highs, pushing into POC now. ES testing our edge, and Q holding. See if we can flip over 80s or if this holds as resistance. Regardless, nice trade so far. Needing to show interest above. The market moves when Russell has momentum.
Trump says inflation is at a perfect number. Surely expecting the result of the Fed reverse repo operation. Nine counterparties take 4.903 billion at the Fed reverse repo operation. And Trump says it's up to Democrats how long the shutdown will last.
Yeah, I would not get on a plane. Mario going to Europe right now is crazy.
Trump says he doesn't know how long the shutdown will last.
Bro, you better take the old Amtrak. Get to Florida in a week, you know? I remember taking an Amtrak home from Georgia to Ohio. It was like a 2-day trip. It's so stupid. I don't remember. I think only one, but it was just a long out of the way. I went through like 4 different states that I didn't need to. Worth? No, it was like $180. Like, it wasn't even cheaper.
Trump ends his remarks at the White House with Hungary's Orban.
But you know, I did meet a really good dude on the train, And I still have him in my Steam friends list. And I talk to him a decent amount. So there's that. Because there's literally nothing else to do on a train than like you like quietly sit next to someone for the first 5 hours, and then after 5 hours you like start like being like, oh, there's nothing else to do. Start talking to people. It's either you like can sleep, you're one of those guys, just like closes their eyes and ignores everyone, or you start socializing. It's like another college kid. But God, no, it was miserable. I just did homework.
So currently,
It was nice because there was an outlet.
Treasury Secretary Bessent is speaking at a Boeing event in Charleston.
I think I'm done, boys. I mean, if we flip this and hold, awesome, then we go up. But I'm not doing full sessions. See what we do here. It's short squeeze. I think the last short squeeze I played failed. I don't even remember the name of it. It's been a very long time, bro. That's Tom's wheelhouse, not mine. I guess Riley counts. I didn't really like play that as a short squeeze. I just bought shares, just chilled in it for like 6 months. Just like taking profit. I didn't like buy short-term calls and then medium-term calls as well as like stock, trying to like push the gamma, right? Like I didn't play it like a short squeeze. I just bought and held. I feel like the last one I played was something garbage. And the only reason I got out of it is because I had a decent put spread on to cover my shares, and I got out of it basically like break even. I don't remember the name. It's been a very long time. It's been years, is the answer. I feel like Tom still plays them every other week. Bro. Okay, well this might be the end of the stream here. Like, why would you pop this up in the middle of the market? I'm closing 1 ES here off of our flip of 82 to 86 as we push into 95. I'm not clicking that button on stream. You're crazy. Just closed a little of my NQ trade here. as we push into 910. This was our next target, if you can imagine that. There it is. Taking off some risk. Now in runners on our flip of our pivot. It was a good last trade. We did the full rotation down and up. Dude, this is so annoying. Like, what? Like, I just pressed this button and it literally just would have doxed me. In my full address and everything. That is insane. That was my full everything. This is ES into our 15-minute VWAP. This is my last trade. I'm going to leave it as a runner, and I'm going to head out. I've got one ES left here. I would love to see us push to our 30-second opening range up at 710, 713 area. Yeah. Good flip. Did you guys play the flip of our pivot or no? Russell holding our flip as well. Rotation up. Next target is up into 416.4. ES held our 820, 800. Can't make this up. It's the same pivot I've been talking about all day. Rotation up, hold, bid, rotation to PVZ, 920. So to me, this makes the most sense. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think as long as our pivots are holding and Russell keeps moving up, you've got room. If it doesn't happen, right, then I would say your next targets here on NQ are what I have listed. I would say that you're probably headed to this as your reversion target to our PVZ value up here, where the POC shifted. Other than that, I don't really have much. Watch to see how we interact here into our VWAP. Don't know. All right. Well, that's it for me. I mean, we just got to target. Again, I'll talk to you all later. Yep. Trying to think if there's anything else. Not really. Yeah, all right. Goodbye. Enjoy your weekends. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you need any help, just DM me. And if I don't respond to your DM, just at me here and I'll get to it. Because I probably have 30 requests that I need to go through. Easily miss. It's not a you thing, I promise. Just message me, say, hey, I just sent you a DM. Please go over something. Just at me in this chat if I don't hear from you. Okay? Goodbye, friends.